Welcome to the Wisdom Channel. Bring love to the playground with Lisa Eve. Hi, I am Lisa Eve, here to help you reconnect with your inner wisdom, heal your heart, and live with more love and joy. Life isn't always easy, but what if it could feel lighter, more playful, and more you? In each episode, I'll share real talk, soul insight, and messages I'm guided to deliver. These are reminders of your power, your worth, and your ability to grow through anything. We'll explore self-love, spiritual connection, healing, and ways to bring more love into your everyday life. So let's take a breath, open your heart, and let's begin.
Wow, everyone. I want to welcome you. I'm Dr. Pat. And let me just come out of the gate and say that this is such an honor to be doing this show with Lisa Eve. And I want to tell you why, because I want to spend a few minutes with you before we talk about today's episode. Today's episode is what our relationships teach us. These are lessons in love, loss, and growth. And you're going to hear today what it feels like, what it looks like, what it tastes like to take the journey through relationships navigation mapping. And what I mean by that is, you all know what I mean. Have you ever woken up, you wake up one day and say, how did I get here? Where am I? Who am I with? Okay, that's for another show. But what we're about to do today is take you on a journey. This is the first episode of the Wisdom Channel with Lisa Eve, and I'm Dr. Pat, and I'm so honored to be here. This is where Lisa Eve gets to share all of the lessons, explore them, share them, all types of relationships, past and present. You know, you're going to hear stories about these amazing subtle endings, sometimes beautiful. It's like we say, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, but we always get there. What is it like to release things easily? Have you ever been in that situation? You know, this is a show about personal reflections, but it's so much more than that. When we all enter the realm of discussing relationships, it's an intimate conversation. And when you hear it from the perspective of Lisa Eve, it's more than that. It's a conversation that you can visualize a heart opening, a heart closing, taking the breath of air that enables you to experience not only her life's journey, her walk through life, but you will be able to reflect on the moments in the conversation where you say to yourself, oh, wow, me too. So I want to welcome you to this show today. It is the first of many to come because we are embarking on something that we are not talking about now in our society, and that is the state of affairs in our relationships. Today, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. Lisa Eve, great to have you. This is such a really, I'm just so excited about this. It is so great for you to be showing up here and doing this the way you want to do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Pat. I'm so grateful to be here. This is such an honor as well for me to be part of the Transformation Network and Transformation Talk Radio. Thank you so much for having me. And the audience doesn't know this, but it took me a long time to get to this point. I signed on with the Transformation Network and Dr. Pat over a year ago, and I just wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to do the show for a long time. And that's because of my relationships, because of how I needed to heal a lot of myself, my self-worth, and allow myself the permission to actually get out there and speak about what I know. So thank you for having me.
And I love that you opened up with that because I think all of us can reflect on that. You know, I look at what you're about to share, and thank you so much for telling the audience about that, because really what you've done now is you've created a key pivotal point, and the pivotal point is you get there when you get there. I know, doesn't that sound like so simple? But you do. You get there when you get there. And what happens as a result of this, you're now going to invite all of us into your journey. That's a special invitation. That's what's people are so hungry to see someone, to really hear someone and say, wait a minute, I am not alone right now. So let's talk about this. There are things you've learned about yourself from relationships, they've helped you shift. Maybe you've ended something, maybe you'd started something, whether it's with a family member or not. Let's talk about what that experience was like for you and how it got you here now.
Okay, let's do that.
Do it. Let's
Let's
go.
do it. Whether it's a family member or not, but it is about a family member. So I'm going to ask the audience, have you ever had a male figure in your life who you've looked up to, who has been a dominant role and figure in your life, who is someone who is strong, empowered, smart, very wise, and who you definitely wanted to learn from, yet at the same time experience a lot of combativeness, where you may have not gotten along often, yet you really did respect and value this person in your life, and you didn't know how to really get along with them. You wanted their knowledge on one hand, and you wanted to learn from them, yet at the same time, it was difficult to be in a room with them. Like, how is this going to go? Are we going to argue today? Am I going to cry today? Am I going to be able to get my point across without having to defend my honor and my words? So I'm sharing this with you because that was the relationship with my dad. And my dad passed away last year, and I thought I was prepared for it. I had known intuitively for more than a decade before his passing that his passing was coming. So I was grieving in advance. Anytime I thought about him not being in my life, I would cry buckets. And when I'm around him, though, I would just be like, I can do this. I'm going to be okay today. Yet on the day of his passing, I was strong, strong as we are normally for our families when we are told that we're the strong one. And after the funeral, I was not the strong one. I definitely got through the funeral as if I was the strong one. And I told some stories about how he helped me get through life. And the whole point of me sharing this story with you is because we're doing the best that we can in life. And even though when people leave our lives through death, or we just break up, or people ghost us, which happens a lot these days, it's still a loss.
Yeah.
And how do we deal with that loss in our lives? This is what I want to talk about because we don't talk about this. We're strong. And then what happens when we're not strong? What happens when we are crying alone in our rooms for hours? When we're weeping alongside a teary-eyed movie, but we don't know why we're weeping so hard, you know? And for me, I personally had a heart attack after he passed, literally an attack on my heart. I thought I was going to be fine after my dad passed because it was such a difficult relationship, even though I loved him so much. And I just couldn't take all the feelings, like my body could not handle. I did not give myself the space to grieve, to feel the anger I was feeling, to feel the hurt that I was feeling. And that's how my body said, no more. I literally had an attack on my heart.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So how are we personally dealing with loss in our lives? It's really important right now, especially. I mean, anytime, really, right? And now,
Right.
it's really important that we are listening to our bodies. And
Yeah.
oftentimes we don't. Coffee, um, other sugary, high energy drinks that help us get through the day so we can hustle harder. But we're not actually listening to what our bodies need when we do that. I was not listening to my body. Yes, I was crying a lot before he passed, but it was what happened after he passed that really hurt the most. And how I dealt with it was maybe not so good because I'm still dealing with heart issues now.
Mm. Mm.
So this is what today's conversation is about.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are we getting through these experiences in our lives that shape us for the future and in the present?
Boy, I'm telling you, you just summarized for the people listening the 500,000 people that come to our website, that literally come here uniquely and click. These are the people that, beyond all of them, all you have to do is look at some of the posts in social media. I was reminded by a friend of mine, I'd love for you to talk about this because I want to talk about endings for a minute. How do you feel about an ending? But a friend of mine called me who I work with in my 12 in my program, in my recovery program. And she said to me, "You're not going to believe the flashback I had." And I'm thinking, like, what was it about drinking? Was it? No. The flashback was being in a room where her dad was in a glass and what do you call that? Glass, what do you call those in the hospital that we did during COVID? That glass room, that separation room. And all she could do is put her hand on the glass. Now, to your point, and to everybody out there, it's okay. See, don't we want to give this message? It's okay to reflect back. It's okay to do a show like this. It's more than okay, it's essential. And when my friend told me that, I just cried. Why? I don't know, Lisa Eve. I don't know why, but I do know why. And this is what you're talking about that's so important. So, part of that change for you and sharing it today is to express what that felt like, what that connection was in the first place. And I think we have to go back and talk about that a minute. We can take a little quick break here if you want.
No, let's keep
But
going.
it's like my friend had to go back to understand what that beautiful relationship was with her dad, even though alcoholic, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of
Mm,
like, it's like, here's the man I love. And he was crazy, but I can't touch him. I can't talk to him.
yeah.
And do I love him?
Mm.
Do I hate him? So let's go back in time to the point of you getting to where you got, if you don't mind. What drew you to this connection in the first place?
Okay, so I authored a book called The Love Channel, Finding Your Way to Happiness. It's available on Amazon, and it is why we're here. It's a channeled book. So I'm a spiritual being having a human experience, right, in my physical body. Yet in the book, I talk about how we choose our parents to help our souls evolve. And so when going through my life and I'm like, I chose my parents? Are you kidding me? Like,
Oh,
why would I do that to myself? That's what I felt throughout my life. Like I was constantly forgiving myself for choosing this life. Like, how did I think I could get through this unscathed? And I have not. Like, obviously, I have not. Um, but I'm still here, right? So the point is that if I can get through it, so can you. And also, we chose our parents so that we can help our souls to evolve. If we could not handle the experiences, we would not have signed up for this. This is the most important piece that I want to get through to you is that we are so much stronger than we realize. And we need to remind ourselves to look within and to cherish ourselves as much as we love or want to love others. So, how we're taking care of ourselves in the process of what we signed up for and all of our soul lessons. How can we remind ourselves to take care of ourselves first? And it can be a challenge in this world because we didn't come here alone. We weren't born into this life alone. We're born here to deal with others. We are here to work with others. So how do we do that and also tune into ourselves and what we need? And so going back to all of that, all the stuff in the beginning, um, I could only say what I said like at the funeral, and that was he taught me to be strong, to stand up for myself, to believe in myself, to um because my father was a very strong man, very strong, very opinionated, and basically whatever he thought was correct all the time. And you could not really tell him otherwise. If he believed it to be so, it was so. And I was wrong and not him ever. And how do you deal with that? Growing up as a little kid, how do you deal with you want to be expressed, you want to have your own perspective, and how do you grow when you're always the wrong one? So I feel like for me, it was learning about believing in myself, even if other people tell me I'm wrong. What can I do for me to trust myself, to honor myself, and always come back to that? It's something I always have to come back to because everybody's going to have their opinions about you.
Yeah.
Always. Like, you go on this show, if you're a host, right? If you have a podcast, people are going to have a conversation about you and what you say at some point.
Yeah, do
And
I
how
know
do you
that one?
feel?
I
Right?
know that one. I like 23 years of this, boy. I've been just called, diagnosed, color of your hair, but do you wear I mean, you are. And it takes courage for you to show up today, and I want to acknowledge you for that.
Likewise, and for everybody who is still on Earth, I acknowledge you for still
Yeah,
being here
yeah.
because we're in
Oh,
tough times right now.
yeah.
And if you're here, it's because you're supposed to be here. You're meant to be here. You have something to contribute to the world. Honor that. Honor who you are. You're unique, you're special, and you have something unique and special to bring to this world right now. Bring it.
It's part of this. Let's just take a sneak peek back if we could, because I have to tell you, I haven't shared this with you, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because I really want people to hear your story. But since you and I talked, I had a flashback about my dad,
Hmm.
but it's not what you think.
Okay,
Now,
tell
I know
me.
my dad. I got to know my dad. My stepmom was so brilliant. When my dad died, she handed me letters from my birth mom because she knew who my dad was. But the flashback I got? When my dad died, I had very little emotion. He was Mr. Invisible. I don't even understand who he was, right? But I did learn some things from him. But I remember at his funeral, don't ask me why I did this, but I remember at his funeral, I put something very valuable in his coffin. And I woke up this morning and I said, I need to dig him up and get that back.
What was it? What did you put in
But
there?
you understand. Now I'm laughing about it because it wasn't traumatic. It
Mm,
was like, dude, you don't deserve that. You need to give me that thing back.
mm,
That's like a diamond. You need to give me that diamond back. But maybe not. But you understand how I can joke about it with myself and how I'll spend time with that. But it doesn't diminish the trauma. None of that laughing, because let's get back to that for a minute for you. See, what you described is so beautiful, and people will not admit that. They will not admit this dichotomy that we have in family relationships. I'm watching a friend go through it right now, and I'm telling you, my heart is breaking. And I could go grab her family member, and I'm telling you, I'm ready to get on a plane and go over there. And I'm ready to just be looking at her and say, I'm going to hit you with this table tennis paddle if you don't shape out. But I won't.
yeah.
But there is a trauma in here. Let's talk about it. I want to
Okay.
caveat this, and I want you to I want to put this out there because people think my experience is not good enough to make this show. No, every experience, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be the time daddy spanked you. It doesn't matter. And I want to put that out there as you tell your story.
Hmm. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that for a year before my dad passed, he wasn't speaking to me. So, and I don't want to go into the details specifically because I don't feel like it is worth mentioning. I will just say that I love to travel. I am a luxury travel advisor. really more so, I'm just an avid traveler. Okay. I love to see the world. I'm also a Sagittarius rising, so it's possible.
Boy, do I
Um,
know.
right? So I love to travel, and I just lost where I was gonna go with this story. Sorry.
Let me help you, fellow
Yes, please. Sorry.
Sagittarius. Let me help
I
you.
got excited about
I know I'm
traveling.
excited. Let me have my Capricorn kick in because those two Sagittarians, we could have a whole travel planning show right now.
Yes.
But where you're going is, and I want to get back to your first point. Your dad didn't speak to you for a year.
Yeah,
Your
okay.
dad
Thank you.
didn't speak to you
See, I'm
for a
avoiding it,
year.
right?
No kidding. I got off my dad's story really quickly. Um, wow. What
Oh,
did that feel like, Lisa Eve?
okay. So this is what I was going with, is that no shit. I just sorry, I don't mean to curse. I just did that. You can bleep that out. Um
Or not?
so well, uh why did my dad? Oh yeah. Okay, so I love to travel. A lot of people see, if they watch me on social media, I'm traveling a lot of the time, and they see that I'm living this beautiful life. The thing is that what's going on under the surface is where I wanted to go. What's going on below the surface is what you don't see. And probably the same for a lot of influencers on Instagram, is you don't see what's going on behind the scenes. Okay? Like I could be staying in a beautiful hotel by myself, which at times is wonderful. And at the same time, I'd love to share it with somebody. And I still travel because I want to travel. Now, going back to my dad, because I was going to go off topic there, I just wanted to say that um, sometimes traveling for me is very healing. So when he wasn't talking to me, I mean, I was still reaching out to him and sending him messages, but I could also feel intuitively that there was something not right with my dad. And so I was reaching out constantly, like, I know you're not well. Can I see you? But he just, no, there was never a response. So now, 2 days before he passed, my brother called me to let me know he was in the ICU. And I was so grateful to my brother that he actually did call me, because I wasn't actually communicating with anyone in the family at that time much. I mean, it was very minimal. So I just want to say that the feeling that I had about seeing my dad through the glass in the hospital, because he wouldn't let me in his room. He didn't
Mm,
want to see me. Like I got there and he was just like, no, I want my daughter to leave the room. That
mm,
was heart-wrenching. But I stood outside of the glass at
mm.
the foot of his bed, and I just did ho'oponopono prayers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, and really do my best to heal the relationship from the other side of the glass.
Mm.
And that's where I'm going to stop for now.
But I want to talk about what that means because this, for all of you out there, this is the invitation for you today. And I want to make sure you hear it loud and clear. There is something in you that you can heal from the other side of the glass. You know what I'm talking about. Whether it's somebody that has passed on or somebody still in your life, you can heal from the other side of the glass. The question is going to be, as we move forward, is what's stopping you? What is it? Lizzie, I have to tell you, I know you went through that rather quickly about healing from, but I don't know, maybe if you don't know, how difficult that is for people to be so rejected and shut out and still open up the space. Because you know what most people would have done? Let me just say you're probably getting a projection from me. Hello. What most people would have done is walked out of there and say, you know what, you, right? F you,
Mhm.
walked out of there. And then what? No healing,
Mhm.
no conversation. You know, forget about having a heart that doesn't work. Your entire system would shut down, but that's not what you did. You called in one of the most powerful prayers from my friends over in on the islands, the Hawaii. If you understand the islands, you understand that prayer is such a beautiful prayer of forgiveness and so powerful, and that's what you did. You didn't need the person on the other side to give you permission to do it or to even acknowledge. And that's part of the invitation today is how many of you are on the other side of the glass, or at least feel you're on the other side of the glass. You can see pain. You could see rejection. You remember that hurtful thing your spouse or partner said to you during COVID that you can't unsee or unhear. You're on the other side of the glass. What are you going to do? What are you going to do with it? We're going to take a short break. When we come back, you're going to hear how this journey beautifully evolves. You know, what Lisa Eve is doing in the world. Yes, of course she travels, but she's much more than that. And that much more than that is what enables her to show up today and share a very painful but healing story. Why? Because millions of you out there have a similar story and you don't know what to do. Emily, let's take a short break. When we come back, do you ever visit these things in your mind, like me popping up this morning and thinking I got to go dig my dad up? Let's take a short break, everybody. We'll be right back. Oh my gosh, I just love that music. Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to the Wisdom Channel with Lisa Eve. This is about how you bring love to the playground. Yeah, life is a playground, isn't it? Today we're talking about what our relationships teach us, lessons in love, loss, and growth. And for those of you that want to know more about the work, about the journey, about Lisa Eve, about the books, we're going to make sure you have plenty of information. Today is a very intimate conversation. It's one that many of you wish you knew how to have. And our hope for you is by the end of the show today that you have a sense of how to have it, or you contact Lisa Eve. You understand? This isn't just about talking. This is about help. This is about making sure that you don't feel alone in this journey and that we are still alive and well because we are not done. Lisa Eve, how do we find out more about you? How do people follow you on social media or contact you? All of the above.
Okay, so I am the founder of a website called thehappychannel.com, and you can find everything you need to know about me on that website. So it's happychannel.com. Just go there.
I love it.
Same for social media. It's I'm only on Instagram and Facebook and Threads, of course, because they're connected, but and it's at The Happy Channel.
And because I am a Sagittarian, I'm having travel envy right now because that in our guts, we would love to be hiking somewhere or journeying somewhere or going to some beautiful place in Thailand or some other place. But my Capricorn says you have to really expand the network. So let's talk about that because in the world we live in, we still operate. You showed up here today. Didn't matter how long it took. But it really lends us to go back to reliving and revisiting the relationship. I wasn't kidding. And I was kidding at the break. I did review. You and I have been working on this episode. So it's a part of me as well as you. For me to wake up with the vision of my dad, it's uncanny. And I will get to the bottom of that. But my dad was a jokester. He was a trickster. And so this is dad playing a joke on me. And his what dad's doing is got you again, girlfriend. And I can laugh. But let's talk about the moments that we're not sure about. Those moments where we wish the connection was still there. Do you have those moments?
Well, okay. So the night after I was on the other side of the glass, that night my dad came to me in my dreams and he just said, I didn't realize you were hurting. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it before. I can see it now and I'm sorry.
Mm.
And I was like, finally some relief. I mean, in a spiritual sense, it's a relief, right? Maybe my body still hadn't caught up to that yet, that like it was a relief, but in a way, I felt like we did this, or like, or we're good. We gave each other a pound, a dap or something. Also in terms of like spirit to spirit, we challenged each other to grow. So it was a hard go round in our soul contract, right? And yet somehow he came through in spirit to tell me, okay, I see you now, right? And so since he has passed and we are able to communicate, I just want to get that information across. Whether you believe in spirituality, but I'm sensing you wouldn't be listening to the show if you didn't. So I want to remind those who are listening that if you see your dad or anyone who's crossed over in your dreams, take that as a real sign that they're talking to you. Okay? If you see a butterfly or you see a feather on the ground or you are reminded of something that related to your loved one, see that as a sign that they're still communicating with you. They're not gone forever. Okay? They're around. So my dad came to me and he said that. And in the times after his passing that I miss him, like I do sometimes miss him, but my dad would come to me and say in spirit, do you really think it would be better if I was still alive? Because we'd still be arguing. This is so much better. Like we can communicate in love, in spirit. It's easier, it's lighter. So yes, I do miss my dad, but what parts of my dad do I really miss when he was 3D dad, right? It was like a little, I have to say this, you're my audience, just hear me out. When my dad passed, I felt a little bit of freedom. I felt like I could breathe a little bit deeper because I wasn't going to have to go into a room and be on guard. So in spirit, it is actually much easier for us to communicate. And it's like, that's how I've been able to heal it for me. Even if going back into childhood, there was a lot of trauma or a lot of hurt and fear. Now it's like, how can I really, truly, authentically heal in the moment now, knowing what I have, the space where I don't have to go into combat anymore, and then work on the trauma of what led to this part. And that's what I'm doing now. I am doing my healing around the trauma that I've experienced throughout my life.
I want to ask you this question because I shared a little bit about my dad. And of course, I'm laughing because he was the giant prankster, but his level of sarcasm really destroyed my stepsister Joyce, really just ate her self-esteem away. I mean, the most beautiful girl you've ever had. I mean, honestly, my stepmom and my sister Joyce, I mean, drop dead. Like, come on now, right? But I watched my dad over time. See, the good news for me is he didn't pay that much attention to me, so he didn't do it to me because I was the ugly kid in the group. You know what I'm saying? I had two of these beautiful, but my dad didn't do that to me, but he did it to her. And so with this morning, it was laughable for me in the moment, but it was so him. Now, I'm struck by a counter energy, and this is where I'm going. I'm wearing a white jacket that Linda's mom gave me. And this woman loved me like I was her own. Why? Why did I put that on today? You see, because the laws of the universe are so much smarter than us. But what I want to ask you about here is based on that ending, based on what you just shared, how complete, how whole do you feel right now in this moment?
Well, I'm also wearing white today. Most of my life I wore black. I thought it was protective that I would be wearing black, but how do I feel about the ending? So, you know, I'll just say in relationships, like romantic relationships, I feel like sometimes we need the other person to be complete, to
Yeah,
get complete,
yeah.
you know? And when someone dies, we don't necessarily have that. So how do we get complete without someone else acknowledging us, acknowledging our pain, acknowledging who we are, how we want to be seen or heard? And the best thing I can do is say, work on loving yourself. It's a journey. This is all a journey. This is the messy bits that we're in, right? It's not about the destination, it's the journey. Okay, sometimes you just want to throw that crap out the window, right? Because you're like, oh my God, could this life get any harder? It probably could because you can handle it, yet we don't want to go there. So when we need to get complete about a relationship, a friendship that ended poorly, um, a coworker that did us dirty, any of those things, you have to come back, reel back into you. That's what my book is about too. It's about reeling back into you. And the reason why we're here on earth is to love ourselves and then love others. So, how do we deal with endings? We have to turn inward. The messy endings, we have to turn inward. We have to look within. And a lot of us don't want to do that. That's the problem. That's why we're not healing, is we're not willing to look within and also see how we contribute to every dynamic we're in. It's not just the other person. They are responding to us, something that we said to them. Maybe they have their own trauma that they're dealing with. So they are on repeat. They are, doing a pattern that they've known since their childhood. That's all about trauma. So for me and my dad, it's really just about he's where he is, right? There's not a whole lot I can do right now except focus on how do I heal my heart.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been working on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, whether that's therapy, there's a lot of different ways we can have therapy in our lives. And it might just be you taking that solo trip, that first solo trip where you acknowledge, I've always wanted to go to wherever. I don't want to wait for anyone and just go.
Yeah.
And then you'll see how powerful you are, how strong you are, how capable you are of doing things for yourself.
Yeah. And how free you are. You see, what I love about what you just shared right there is that, there's something, my friend said it's bittersweet. And I'm like chocolate. Is that what you mean? Because I love bittersweet chocolate. I love chocolate. That's another show. But my friend is talking bittersweet, and I said, but wait a minute. You just described this beautiful trip you went on by yourself, and you just described the 30 other people you met along the way, traveling on a road someplace in Asia, connections that you've made that'll be with you from now to the end of your life. Now you're invited back. You got invited to Malaysia, and da 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 da. And she said, I forgot that. And I said, look, can you tap into a new sense of freedom for a moment? I'm not dismissing.
Mhm.
Sometimes there's loneliness. I'm not. But so often we forget to look at the new door that's opened. You know, I know what you said before, and it is that cliche we use, but it really is true. When one door shuts, another one opens. And let's talk about that because today you're sharing wisdom. But this wisdom is to help people understand how to create healthy, how to be authentic in your connections, and how to honor your needs. And I don't want people to get the opinion, at least for me, that once I had these revelations, my next romance was like, yeah, no. Then I got to practice all the crap that came up. Yeah, that didn't end well, but it lasted a long time. I got a lot of lessons. So I want to ask you, let's talk about what we can help people with. One, take that first step. And two, acknowledge it is a journey. And like every journey, sometimes it rains, and that trail you were going to be on, it's slippery.
Mhm.
Give us a few hints here.
Not just slippery, it's muddy.
Yeah. I was trying. I live in the Pacific Northwest, so I'm just trying. I got some friends that are hiking right now, and all of a sudden it decided to rain tomorrow. But yeah,
Mm, yeah, I guess, okay. Honestly, people, you can do this. That's really the bottom line. It's you can do this. You know, like just you uh I'm I'm just gonna say, what would it look like for you to pull everything back? Um, pull the layers back of what, like you've put all these blankets on top of yourself and you're hiding underneath all these blankets. What if you just start pulling them back? Do it in safe spaces. Do it in places where you feel comfortable, where I want to say something about trust real quick. Because you want to be able to trust people. The most important thing that I've learned on my journey, though, is that we have to trust ourselves first before we can trust others. It's the same thing, the cliche of you have to love yourself first before you love others. We can love lots of people, but until you really know yourself and how you like to love and be loved, it's going to be really difficult to get into a relationship when you're expecting someone else to take care of you in a certain way. So the same thing with trusting. I encourage you and I invite you to look at all the ways where you have allowed yourself to not trust yourself because of the choices you've made, that you have gone against your own intuition, or you wanted to be the better person and look like an angel and do the things that other people want you to do for them. Like, stop being the people pleaser, okay? And do the things that are going to honor you first and foremost. And that's how you build trust for yourself. And then you can trust the people you're around. So, how do you heal? You really got to take the time to focus on you. It's not selfish, and then it is selfish. Okay, it's selfish. Let it be selfish, right?
Yes.
Just be
Yes. Let it be
selfish. It's
selfish.
okay. And this is selfish in a good way because you have to take care of you first before you can help others. Let's put the oxygen mask on. I can breathe again. That oxygen mask feels so good. Okay. And remind yourself to breathe again for yourself before you breathe for others. Does that help?
Yes, it does, because I want to get back to something right? And something you don't know. And I say you, the collective you, not you per se. I find myself fascinated, and I just put it together. Why recently I'm just all about Alanis Morissette, just playing, oh, like it. But this morning I just listened to, of course, I love Thank You, but I listened to Uninvited. And then I went back in and I looked at the lyrics. You see, part of this journey, and from what I hear you say, is look, you got to get to know you, but you also got to get to know when to hold them, when to fold them. My mom used to be like crazy, like, girls, y'all, some days you're the windshield, some days you're the bug. And none of us understood what she meant, because no matter how you look at it, both of those scenarios, it's messy. But in this, we have to trust ourselves with an intuition. But I want to ask you, we have to stop doing some things here, Lisa Eve. We have to stop. And let's talk about some of the things that help us. For example, when we are so bent on pleasing other people at the sacrifice of ourselves, it just creates more trauma, doesn't it?
Yes. Yes. All of that, yes.
Yeah. So part of your journey and what you're sharing today, it's beautiful. Because as you walked us through this today, we also got to see how you walked through it. By showing up today, didn't matter how long it took to get here, your healing shines through, but also your message shines through. And it couldn't have been at a more important time. 500,000 women have lost their jobs in the past several months since the rules of the game have changed. 500,000. Let go. There is a level of healing that goes beyond family. But what you shared today, you opened up a door for people to invite themselves to come in and to leave everything else outside the glass. So I have one more question for you. and I would like to talk about this more deeply because we didn't really touch upon it. How did intuition guide you along the way?
Well, the last 9 minutes or so we have of the show.
Yeah, I love doing that because see, I'm getting ready for the next show now.
Okay, that's a good point. Okay, so intuition is that voice inside your head that kind of sounds like you, and it is a soft voice, though. It's like a loving voice. I just want to make that very clear. If a voice is talking to you and it's nasty and it's mean, discharge it. However, you got to do that. It's not you, it's not your higher selves, it's not your spirit. Your spirit, your higher selves, your guardian angels, whoever it is that you speak to is going to want you to thrive in this life. Okay, so when you have that feeling like, oh, this doesn't feel like the right thing to do, or you receive blocks on your path, I mean, literal blocks, like you cannot go over the wall, that is your intuition telling you don't go over that wall no matter what, because you might not want what's on the other side of it. And we've all done this in relationships when we meet someone real quick, right? We think, oh my God, he's the one, she's the one. Oh my God, I'm going to make this work, right? And you're going to force yourself into this person's life no matter all the red flags, okay? But I'm here to say, trust yourself, okay? The intuition is you've seen the red flag, whatever it is, whatever warning symbol it is, trust that. Even if you're like, oh, but we will make such beautiful babies together. Okay. Even if it's that, there's going to be someone else who's a better fit for you. Trust that. Because you don't want to climb that wall and see what's on the other side of it. You don't want to bulldoze the wall. Okay. You're going to hurt yourself in the process. You're going to get bumps, scrapes, bruises, whatever. So the intuition piece is keep on listening to the green flags or just acknowledge the red flags, the orange flags, whatever they are for you. Okay. And that's how you build your intuition and you build the trust for yourself.
Yeah.
So the more that you listen to the inner voice that is soft, loving, guiding, acknowledges you, then you're going to start to feel more confident in yourself and the choices that you make on your path. And that's the start of you building your intuition to serve you. And it's why you're here.
Yeah.
You know, like your intuition helps you to love yourself. Let yourself be loved by you.
It's so true. And let's just recap on intuition for today. Intuition, how did it show up just in this little time we've spent together? One, your brother calling you, right? It was your brother that called you about your dad, right? Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Two, intuition for you to show up. Three, intuition for you to pray behind a glass wall. Intuition for you to know not to start the show a year ago. Intuition for you to know to reach back out and say, I'm ready to start. Intuition for you to know how to show up today and tap into your heart and the messages that you're sharing with people. The intuition to know that you're on a different path now, maybe, but the path now is expanded to reach more people because intuitively you know the sense of pain that's out there. Otherwise, you wouldn't have shared this today. You know, intuition for both of us somehow to come together in this sacred contract world and to be so raw and open with each other, unexplainable beyond the idea of a show, but intuitively both of us knew that this was a pathway we took together, not to share with the audience today, but intuition for both of us to really carve out our next path, to take a moment of not knowing. See, this is what I love about what you just shared. It's okay not to know, but it's also okay not to know, but be open. Why are both of us wearing white today? No, we didn't write a memo to each other. Why did we do that? See, sometimes why is the worst question we have on the planet. It's almost as bad as the word no. But this today and what you shared, the timing of this and showing up, intuition without action is a thought. But what you did is you combined acceptance, intuition, spirituality, and action. And you showed up today. And I'm going to be forever grateful because you've touched my life. Otherwise, why would my dad be laughing at me, wanting to take that diamond ring out of his casket. I want to ask you this. Beautiful show. I want to thank you for literally showing up, all parts of you. You know, the 3D dimension, the 5D dimension, all of it. And I want to ask you your personal message for today. A lot of things have been said, but I want to know what you want to leave everybody with today, if you don't mind.
So, the Wisdom Channel, Bring Love to the Playground, is the name of the podcast. The reason why we are bringing love to the playground through our conversations is because we need more love in the world. We need more people expressing their hearts, being open with their hearts, knowing their hearts, and really honoring who they are and what they bring to the table. So I invite you to take one small step today, or whatever that looks like, whether it's finally exercising, taking back control of your health, eating differently. Maybe you're going to listen to that red flag today and not go in that direction that you really want to go, but you're not going to go. Okay? So bring more love to yourself today. Whatever that looks like. Maybe you'll buy yourself flowers. Maybe you're going to go to the beach. Maybe you're going to get on a plane, take that trip. But just choose one thing for yourself that you've always wanted to do, that you would love to do, and enjoy that.
I want to thank you for this. Now, there's more to come. I just want to let people know this is not a one-time event. We're going to be doing more shows together, and then more shows on your own. Whatever that's going to look like, we're going to follow the pathway wherever it guides us. And I want to thank you without giving the audience the whole idea of this, but you all know this. You know, because you're living this. You know how silent y'all have become in your life. You know it. You know you have. You feel that you have no one you can talk to. If you bring it up to a family member, they just think you've lost it, get over it, suck it up and move on. No, don't do that. Call Lisa Eve. Don't do that. Don't do the sucking up thing because your family wants you to do it. Because we all know what happens when you suck up too many things, you explode. This is what we're talking about. Lisa Eve, one more time. Let's have the website, the Instagram, everywhere. I want to follow where you're traveling next, too.
Yeah, I wonder where I'm going to go. Exciting. Okay, so it's thehappychannel.com, thehappychannel.com, and then also Instagram at The Happy Channel, Facebook at The Happy Channel. Just find me. Maybe on another show we can do some call-ins.
Yes, I would love to.
Take the callers, so we can do that in the future. But thank you so much for having me. This has been a blessing for me, an honor for me, and I'm so grateful. We did our first show. Yay!
Yeah, we did. Yeah. And don't forget to go ahead and check out Lisa Eve's books, please, because now we're talking about golden. And by the way, the price of gold, you can figure out how valuable this is. Lisa Eve, thank you so much for everything. Emily, thank you for pushing all the right buttons. And I want to thank you as the audience. You know, I can't say this enough. 23 years, and you're the best audience on the planet, and you're growing. And you're growing because you see something, hear something in the talent that's on this network. Beyond all of us here as producers and people that push all the buttons, there's an energy here. And I want to thank you as an audience for supporting us. And we've got a lot of great things planned. And I will make a soft announcement. We are planning a 25-year summit. And stay tuned for that coming up in the fall, if not the fall, in January. Why? Because you all want it. That's not people pleasing, really. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
I am Lisa Eve. Thank you for listening to the Wisdom Channel. Bring love to the playground, airing every second and fourth Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. Remember, self-love is the foundation of your happiness. So take one small step today to nurture your beautiful self. To go deeper on your healing and self-discovery journey, pick up my book, The Love Channel, Finding Your Way to Happiness, available now on Amazon. And for daily inspiration and uplifting content, visit thehappychannel.com. Until next time, keep your heart open, walk your path with love, and never forget, you have the power to heal.